Hello, it is a great day today because, oh, sorry, Kiwi. I literally just got this big shipment of yarn in. This is like my first bulk buy for what I'm going to be selling at an upcoming market. So I wanted to unpack it with you guys, show you everything that I got, and talk about also what I'm planning on getting in the future. But of course I can't have $500 worth of yarn in my house at one time. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. This is probably more than I should have bought at one time, but I got a little excited. So this is what I got. I got my yarn from Premier Yarns. I did a lot of research on which yarn is best for amigurumi and which one, is good price but also good quality, and I landed on Parfait Chunky from Premier Yarns. So most of the yarn you'll see is Parfait Chunky, but I also did some of the, I think it's called stash goals, for the colors that I needed a little bit more of. I don't know if you can see inside, but there's so much yarn in this box. I am literally in heaven right now. We have this deep brown in the color Girls. We have this deep brown in the color chocolate. I have a butter yellow, and this is just the color yellow. I also got more of a gold, and this is called Summer Squash. I have a medium brown, and this is called Teddy Bear. I got 2 red, and this is the color Cardinal. I got this lime neon green, this is Pistachio. This beautiful lavender color is Lilac. And I think that might be it for the singles. So the rest of the yarn is the stash goals, it's the chenille. It comes with 500 grams, so 2 skeins that come out to 500 grams. Is this resealable or does it just have a handle? I think it's not resealable. I don't know if it's a good idea to open them yet. I got Sage Green, 500 grams. Oh, this one's really taped up. Can you see the color well enough in the packaging? I don't know, I feel like I should take it out to show. They just taped this one up crazy. That one only had 1 piece. This is Blueberry. Take that bad boy back up. This is Sprout, which is a very light mint color. Yeah, this is not meant to be opened and resealed. But that's what I'm doing. I think from here on out, I'm gonna keep it in the bag because this is just getting to be too difficult. This is black. Oh my gosh, I still have so much more. This is just purple. It's called Purple. This is just blue, which, if you're wondering, that's the difference between blueberry and blue. Not a super crazy difference, but I feel like I'm gonna be using a lot of blue anyways, so I'm okay with having close shades, but that are still different. And on that note, I also have light blue. And the comparison, that's the difference. This is Petal, pretty pink. Salmon, which in my opinion pulls a lot more orange than salmon, but that's what they call it. This is Tan. And if you're wondering about the difference in the browns, these are very different. And the last 2 are White and Ivory, which that's the difference between the 2. Oh no, sorry, this one's called Cream. Let me make sure this is called White. Yeah, White and Cream are the 2 colors. So that is all the yarn I got. I think with shipping and taxes, it came out at like $99. It was just under $100. And the stash goals definitely made that possible. I get 500 grams, so it's basically 2 skeins, more than 2 skeins, because these are 100 grams each. So like 5 skeins for $10, which is a steal for sure. So that's all the yarn that I got. I do still plan on getting cotton yarn for some wearables, some decor, some things that need to hold up a little bit better and also be able to be machine washable. I don't think I'm getting any acrylic yarn or wool. I'm not a really big fan of wool anyways. I haven't found a good wool that actually feels good on my skin, so I don't want to be selling anything that I don't think is soft and comfortable. I'm also going to be trying really hard to use up my yarn stash I already have. I have some acrylics. I have some weird textured yarn that I thought was pretty. And overall, they're not super versatile yarns. So I'm gonna have to be pretty clever with the way that I make it usable for something that I can sell at a market. But I wanna do my best to make that happen because that's like free materials right there that I should be using before I continue to buy more yarn, which too late for that. But I'm so excited to show what I make with this yarn. It's gonna take me a long time to get through this yarn, I think. I plan on doing my first market around June, and right now it is January. So it's gonna take some time. I have a full-time job as a teacher, but I hope you guys stick around to see what this turns into. Luna's playing hide and seek right now. Can you see her? I have my entire yarn stash separated into 4 categories. I have acrylic, cotton/wool, specialty, and what I believe is polyester. So I'm gonna go through each of the 4 categories and show you everything that I have. I'm gonna start with acrylic because it is my biggest stash, I would say. I have quite a bit of full skeins that I haven't even broken into yet and lots of colors. I have light blue, denim, grayish blue, gray, maroon, cream, pink, light sage green. This one is actually a variegated yarn, but I have it balled up so you can't tell. It's a Lion Brand Mandala, and I think there's like
green, burgundy, mustard yellow, neon blue.
It's pretty, but acrylic's not my favorite to work with. I don't know why I have so much. A little bit of red left, chocolate brown, butter yellow, burnt orange. Oh my gosh, a whole other skein of light blue and a whole other skein of maroon. Balls, like super tiny little balls of yarn that I have left over from different projects. And lastly, I have this variegated yarn. It's actually super pretty. I already used it in one of the things that I made for markets. So that's all the acrylic yarn that I have, and I don't really have a lot of plans for market items that would use acrylic. I think that the flower mirrors, bookmarks, granny square coin purses, glasses cases, all of those things can use acrylic yarn. But to be honest, I'd actually prefer a lot of those would be cotton, so they'd be a little bit more durable. But I think as I'm starting off my business and I'm a little low on funds, I'll just use what I have. So especially for the things that don't need to be as durable, like the mini mirrors and bookmarks, I feel like I can get away with using acrylic. Oh my gosh. Hi. Next up, I will show, can you go somewhere else? You're making them uncomfortable. Next, I will show you my mix of cotton and wool yarns. I wish I had more cotton because I plan on using cotton for a lot of the more functional items that I'm going to have in my inventory, but this is what we have for right now. I haven't bought any for markets specifically or for my business just yet. I have this superwash merino. I got it when I was planning on knitting the 𝒕𝒓𝒊𝒏𝒈 scarf. And as of right now, knitting is taking the back seat as I start this process of creating my small business. So for right now, I'm not gonna be making a 𝒕𝒊𝒏𝒈 scarf anytime soon, so I can use this for market inventory. I have a couple of 24/7 cotton. What did I get this for? I got these for Christmas gifts. So I have quite a few colors of the 24/7 cotton. I have this like creamsicle orange, this baby, don't mind the fuzz if there's any fuzz on stuff, this baby pink cream, a little bit of yellow left. I actually made a set of 4 coasters with this yellow for my market inventory. This speckled, colorful speckled yarn, I actually made a bandana in this for myself that I wear all the time. And this very, very light blue, almost gray for the 24/7 cotton. And that is everything for the 24/7 cotton. I also have a bunch of this 𝒕𝒉, which I was going to make a red granny square. I was going to make a red granny square vest for myself, but I don't know if I'm going to be doing that anytime soon, so I might as well use all this red for market inventory. I have a very small bit of this really nice yarn left. I made my husband a beanie. This is either a fine or a light yarn. I think I was planning on making pants for my Sunny Angels in the very beginning of my crochet journey, and while that didn't ever end up happening, I did buy this yarn for it. These 2 yarns are wool, and they actually don't feel very nice. I think I got them on Amazon, and I was planning on making a scarf with these. There was a medium blue that I've already used, but it just doesn't feel good on the skin. If it's gonna be on someone's skin, I wouldn't wanna make it in this yarn. I don't know what brand of cotton this is, but it doesn't feel that great either, but it is very, very sturdy. So I would want to do a jewelry dish, or I don't know, it's not enough to make a bag, but this is the kind of yarn that I would want to make a market bag with. I have these 2 cotton yarns left over from a Christmas present. It is really good yarn. So it's 100% cotton, but it's a lot softer than what you would usually find at a normal art store like Michael's. That was everything for the cotton and wool portion of my yarn stash. So now I'm going to move on to the polyester/plush/chenille section. So all of this was yarn that I already had in my possession before I knew I was gonna start doing a small business. And so it wasn't really yarn specific for market inventory or amigurumi. It's just yarn that I bought for other reasons. So I actually bought skinny chenille when I first thought about trying to make amigurumi. And so skinny chenille is great. It's just not the usual for amigurumi. And I know that I need to work on my skills still, but with just like normal amigurumi skills and practices, there were a lot of gaps, and it just turned into really small plushies. So I have a couple of colors of that. I've actually been using these for different things other than amigurumi for market inventory. This is the Bernat Fluffy. It is so soft, but it also just falls apart on me. I mean, I'm covered in this stuff when I crochet with it, but it is really nice. I think it would make a great beanie or scarf, and it's super thick, so it works up fairly quickly. I have 2 fur yarns. This one is from Amazon. I feel like Amazon is the only place besides maybe Hobbii that you can get a colored fur yarn like this. Super soft, great quality. I have no complaints. Amazon did a good job with this one. The only thing is I'm gonna be starting my markets in June. And in June, people aren't really thinking about buying fur stuff, at least for wearables. I could use this for amigurumi, but I'm sure if you are a part of the crochet community, you know how tough it is to create amigurumi with fur yarn like this. I might make one bigger item with this yarn right here, like maybe a bunny or something would be super cute, but this won't be a regular type of yarn that I'll use in my market inventory. And lastly, I have just a little bit of t-shirt yarn left. I think these are all 3 different types. I don't even think these are the same. They're different colors, right? Yeah, they're different colors. So these would be good for jewelry dishes or some type of organizers. But other than that, there's not much I can do with this. So I'll see if I can make a couple of things with the t-shirt yarn just to get it out of my stash that I can actually use for markets. Last but certainly not least, it is time to go through all of my specialty yarn. I was really excited in the yarn buying process when I first started crocheting. So when I saw a beautiful yarn, I didn't really think about what I could make with it before I bought it, especially if it was on sale. So I have quite a few specialty yarns that I'm slowly working through, trying to reduce my stash. This is a yarn that I thrifted from my local thrift store back home. These two yarns are one of my favorite yarns from Michaels. It's Loops and Threads, and I'll put the name of whatever type of yarn it is up there because I don't remember right now, but they have the most beautiful color variations, and I've already made some really cool stuff with these yarns. I made lots of Christmas presents with this, and I just made a bandana for my inventory with this one. This is also a yarn from Michaels, and it is, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like a brushed yarn. It's very soft. I made my beret out of this yarn, and I've also made a bandana out of this yarn for markets already. I believe this one is a Caron cake of some kind. I just don't remember which one. If I remember, I will put it right there. But it has pretty colors in it. It is 100% acrylic. So it kind of falls into my acrylics, but the colors make it special. I have the rest of a Caron cloud cake. I think it's the color Sandbar, which I do know is actually getting discontinued. So kind of sad about that. I did really like this color. It's super soft. It is super fragile though. I mean, it breaks off pretty easily. So I have to keep that in mind if I use it for any type of market items. I think that it would be best in beanies, scarves, headbands, things like that. That'll probably be what I use it for, but maybe closer to next winter. Then I have two full Caron cloud cakes. This was actually going to be my step-by-step sweater. I was going to use this yarn to make my first ever knit sweater, but again, knitting is taking the back seat for a little while, so I might as well use up this yarn while I have it. I could make a really cute poncho with this yarn. That would be super cute. And lastly, the yarn that has been in my stash since almost day one of crocheting for me. It haunts me in my sleep. I can't seem to get rid of it, and it is this yarn that I think I bought on discount from Michaels one day, thinking that it was so pretty and that I would use all of it to make something really cool. But here I am with
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
9 balls of it in different colors with nothing to do with it. I did make a star bag. I'll put the picture right there. I made a star bag in one of my previous videos where I spun a wheel and the wheel chose my next project, and that was a really good use of this yarn. It actually is pretty sturdy, so maybe this is the yarn that I go for with market bags. I feel like that'll use up this yarn fairly quickly. It'll be sturdy, and hopefully I will not have to look at it in my yarn stash any longer. That is all of the yarn that I have currently in my possession, besides the yarn that you just saw in my yarn haul from Premier. There is a little bit more yarn that I have to buy for what I plan to make for markets. I need to get a little bit more cotton yarn to make those items that have to be sturdy. Some need to withstand heat, like pot holders or placemats. Even coasters I like to do with cotton, because if you put a hot mug on there, you don't want the coasters getting messed up by that. So I do plan on putting one more order in for some cotton yarn. And if time and budget permits, I would also like to buy some Feels Like Bliss yarn from the Line brand. I've just seen such beautiful creations made from that yarn, and I think that it would create some variation in my market items and produce some unique items that are different from what you see at a lot of crochet markets. As I continue to make market inventory prep vlogs, I will let you know how my stash is going, not just the nightmare yarn, but the other yarns too. And hopefully, the way I see it, the way girl math works is all of the items that I make with the yarn I already have is basically 100% profit, right? Because I didn't buy the yarn specifically for markets. They just happen to already be in my possession. So girl math, I'm making extra money off of those items. I know I hinted at some of the items that I want to have in my inventory for my first market, but in the next video, I'm going to go over everything that I plan to make for my first market. I'm going to have a whole spreadsheet, all the patterns all linked, and I'm going to have that spreadsheet linked into the video's description. So make sure you don't miss that video. Thanks for hanging out with me in the next step of this process of building my small business. I really appreciate you being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and if you want to stay with me on this journey as I try to create my own small business. Have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.